It's the middle of the night. You're lying on the ground, alone, deep in the wild. No tent, no fire, no weapon in your hand. You're fast asleep, completely helpless. And out there in the dark, something is watching you. Two eyes, glowing, unblinking. A predator that could end you in seconds. It steps closer. It smells you. It stands right over your sleeping body. This is the easiest meal it will ever find. You can't run. You can't fight. You don't even know it's there, and then it turns around and it walks away. Most people assume a sleeping human is dead meat, but that's not what happens in the wild. Again and again, predators walk right up to a defenseless sleeping person, and they leave. There's a hidden reason for this, and by the end, you'll understand something strange about your own body. The very thing that should get you killed out there might be the exact thing that keeps you alive. Stay till the end, because the last part will change how you think about being human. Let's start with the obvious question. Why doesn't the predator just attack? You're soft, you're slow, you're lying still. You look like the perfect victim. But here's the first secret. To a predator, you don't look like food at all. And it all comes down to one thing: movement. A hunting animal is built to chase motion. Think about a cat. When you drag a string across the floor, it pounces. But when the string stops, the cat freezes. It loses interest. The hunt only switches on when something moves. This is wired deep into almost every predator alive. The famous wildlife biologist George Schaller spent years watching lions in Africa. This was in the Serengeti back in the 1960s, and he noticed something incredible. Lions often ignored prey that stood perfectly still, but the moment an animal bolted, the chase exploded to life. Running triggers the kill. Stillness switches it off. So when you're lying frozen on the ground, asleep, you're not pressing the button that starts the hunt. You're basically invisible to that instinct. But here's what's fascinating. It's not just about movement, it's about confusion. Imagine you're the predator for a second. You creep up on this strange shape on the ground. It's not running, it's not fighting, it's not making prey sounds. It just lies there. Your brain runs through its list. Is it prey? Prey runs. This thing isn't running. Is it a threat? Maybe. It's big. It's a shape you don't fully recognize. Is it already dead? Possibly. And most predators avoid eating something they didn't kill themselves. So now the predator is stuck. It can't put you in any box. And a confused predator is a cautious predator. In the wild, confusion means danger. An animal that attacks the wrong thing can get hurt. And a hurt predator in the wild is a dead predator. So when in doubt, they back off. But that brings up another question. Why are we so confusing to them in the first place? And this is where it gets strange, because to most wild animals, humans are aliens. Think about how we look. We don't move on four legs like their normal prey. When we stand, we're tall and upright. That vertical shape is rare in nature. To many predators, a standing human looks bigger and stranger than almost anything else. And then there's our smell. We don't smell like a deer. We don't smell like a rabbit. We smell like something they've learned to fear. Because for thousands of years, that smell meant one thing: danger. So even while you sleep, your scent is whispering a warning. This is not normal prey. This is something that hurts us. The wolf researcher David Mech studied wild wolves for decades, and he found that healthy wild wolves almost never attack humans. Not because they can't, but because they've learned to avoid us. We are not on their menu. We are the thing their instincts tell them to leave alone. So picture this. A pack of wolves finds you sleeping in the snow. They circle you. They sniff the air. Every instinct says this is easy, but a deeper instinct says this is wrong. And the pack melts back into the trees. You wake up at sunrise, never knowing how close it came. But here's where it gets even deeper. It's not just wolves. Let's talk about bears. A bear has an incredible nose. It can smell you from miles away. So a curious bear might walk right up to a sleeping camper. It'll sniff you, it'll study you, and in most cases, it just leaves. Why? Because a bear isn't always hunting. A lot of the time, it's just investigating. It wants to know what you are. And once it figures out you're a human, the risk isn't worth it. You're too big, too unfamiliar, too dangerous to mess with for no reason. So it moves on, looking for easier food. Now think about a mountain lion. These cats are silent killers. They hunt by stalking and ambushing from behind. They love to chase things that flee. But researchers who study mountain lion attacks found something chilling. Almost every attack involved movement. A person running, a person crouching, a child darting around, a jogger moving fast through the trees. The cat sees that motion, and the predator switches on. But a still, sleeping body? It often doesn't fit the pattern. the trigger never gets pulled. So what about the biggest cats of all? Tigers. A tiger is one of the most powerful predators on Earth, and yet even tigers have been seen backing away from a motionless human. In parts of India, people working in tiger country learned a strange trick. They started wearing face masks on the backs of their heads. Masks with painted human faces. Because tigers usually attack from behind. They wait until you turn away, and when the tiger thought a human was always watching it, it backed off. The attacks dropped. That tells you something powerful. The tiger doesn't want a fair fight. It wants an easy, unaware target. A sleeping human is helpless. But a sleeping human also isn't running, isn't reacting, and isn't behaving like prey. And that frozen stillness scrambles the predator's instincts. But let's be honest for a second. Because it doesn't always work. Sometimes it does go horribly wrong. So when does the shield break? This is the part you need to understand. The first danger is movement. If you suddenly wake up and bolt, you become prey instantly. A flinch, a scream, a panicked run. That can flip the switch and trigger the chase. The stillness only protects you while you stay still. The second danger is a desperate predator. A healthy animal can afford to be cautious, but a starving animal can't. When a predator is sick, injured, or close to death by hunger, its careful instincts break down. It stops weighing the risk. It gets desperate enough to attack anything, even a strange, dangerous human. Most predator attacks on people in history came from animals like this. The old, the injured, the starving, the ones with nothing left to lose. There's a famous example from over 100 years ago. In Africa, around 1898, 2 lions began hunting humans. They were known as the Tsavo man-eaters. For months, they attacked workers in the night. But here's the key. When scientists studied their remains years later, they found something. The lions had damaged teeth and jaws. They were in pain. They couldn't hunt their normal prey, so they turned to the easiest target they could find, us. It wasn't normal behavior, it was desperation, and that's the pattern again and again. A healthy predator avoids you, a broken one doesn't. So now step back and feel the whole picture. You're lying in the dark. A creature with claws and fangs is standing over you. By every measure, you should be dead. You're weak, you're slow, you're unaware, but you're being protected by something invisible, millions of years of instinct. The predator's own brain is telling it to be careful, that you're too strange, too risky, too still to be safe. The exact things that feel like weakness, lying helpless, frozen, unmoving, are quietly working as a shield, and here's the part that turns this back on you. Your body still remembers this. Deep down, you carry the same ancient wiring. It's why a sudden sound in the dark makes you freeze before you run. It's why your body locks up in pure fear before it does anything else. That freeze response isn't a glitch. It's a survival tool older than humanity itself. For your ancestors, freezing in the dark wasn't weakness. It was the difference between living and dying. The ones who panicked and ran often didn't survive the night. The ones who froze lived to become your great-great-grandparents. You are descended from the ones who stayed still. So the next time you feel that strange urge to freeze when you're scared, remember where it comes from. It's a gift from every ancestor who survived a night in the dark. A predator once stood over them too, and chose to walk away. We like to think we conquered nature with fire and weapons and walls, but out there in the dark, none of that protects you. Something older does. The stillness in your own body, the strangeness of your own shape, the ancient warning carried in your scent. You spend your whole life feeling small and fragile, but you were built by survivors, and the wild still remembers what you are, the most dangerous thing it ever learned to leave alone.